Hey, bitches.
Hello.
Hey, stab bitches. Ooh, it's a little quiet. Let me see.
Huh?
There we go. Howdy. I wasn't able to hear you guys very well. Anyways,
Oh.
hi. Welcome, everybody. We are here for week 1 of our new book, You Could Make This Place Beautiful by Maggie Smith. This is our In My Genres era memoir. Very exciting. Very exciting. So wait and see who joins us today before we start chatting about this fantastic book. But how was everybody's 4th?
Good.
Good.
Loud as
What
it
did you
should
do?
be.
As loud as it should be?
It's loud as it should be.
Yeah. What did you guys do?
Tosh, what'd you guys do?
Hold on, I gotta plug in. I just
She didn't
realized
do
that,
anything. She stayed home. What did you do?
yeah, I couldn't do
Well,
it.
we were driving in the morning. We were driving home from Vegas, and then we
Hey,
got
Rebecca.
home and prepared for our barbecue within an hour and had people over.
Oh shit, that's fast.
Well, I had shopped
Wow.
before, so we were just in Vegas for 24 hours. Aaron was like, "Hey, go see Blink with me," and we were like,
Cool.
and I was like, "I don't know, we got a party the next day," and she's like, "Do it." I was like, "Fine," and so we drove to Vegas on Houston. Houston drove to Vegas. What?
Your
Tell me
skin
what-
is glowing, bitch. What the fuck did you do?
It's summertime. I just get summery.
You literally look like you had some like fabulous makeup down, but like there's such a like gorgeous like shine. Like
That's just sweat.
glow.
That's just sweat. But you know what my dad said? He was like, "Oh, you paint your face really nice."
There you go. Do you paint your face really nice, or is that just your summer skin?
No, there is makeup. I wish it was
A
full
little
of
bit. No, you just look fantastic. Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Guess you got that Las Vegas glow.
Yeah. Well, we were outside in Vegas, but I've been to the water park a handful of times.
Welcome, Nora.
But yeah, so she was like, "Go," and then so we went. Houston and I and Inara met up with their family, and then the next day, so we're just there. We just drove out there, went to the concert, drove home, did
That's exciting.
4th of July, had families over, did barbecue, did our, those little fountain fireworks with all the fireworks that Peter does around us.
Oh, fun. That's
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm glad you had a nice 4th.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's fun.
A few days, huh? Diana's here with us today. Welcome, babe.
Dirty Diana.
Is Diana reading with us this month too? That's exciting.
We can't hear her.
You and
Now's
your
the
hair.
time to talk crap about her since she can't hear her.
Oh my god, Teen?
Yeah, her.
What? She's got like subtitles on and shit. So I can't hear you, but I can read it, bitches. Oh, you are reading. Yay. That's great. I'm glad. This one will be an interesting read for our book club, our first memoir. Anybody else do anything
What'd you do, Desiree?
fun or extra for the 4th?
We went on our boat, and where we were parked on the boat, I counted. We had a 360 view of about 10 setups of fireworks going off in the sky.
Okay.
It was insane. I've never noticed that many before. It was always like just the main towns that we could see, but it was like all
Like
of these
clear
places.
sky.
Clear sky where we were at, and you could just 360 turn, and there was fireworks everywhere. It was really cool.
And that's how it was for us, but we have houses in the way. We're not out in the water, so I had a much better view.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any view. There's pretty much no view from anywhere.
Do they do fireworks around you?
So my town does them on the 29th or something of June, and we didn't know. And then I guess next door in Temecula they do them on the 4th, and they have 2 areas that they do them, but neither of which we can actually see. We should be able to from our balcony at our bedroom, but there's just so many trees that you can't. So we didn't get to see anything, and the kids were like, "Nah, let's just watch some movies and stuff." So I think we watched Free Willy for the first time with the
Hey,
kids.
that goes hand in hand. You know, like freedom, free willy.
Right. Freedom, Free Willy. Yeah, we
Yeah.
freed Willy instead of the entire United States.
Well,
Last second, we almost stayed home. That sounds really nice.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of work to get out on the boat. But
It was
are
boring.
there other people out on the boats too, or is it just
we just went, just us.
No, I mean,
We
what
didn't,
are
like,
there? Were there?
Oh yeah,
other
there's
people
always
that?
there's a lot of people. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, Violet, you're gonna get in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I didn't realize she was out here, and I hear a lot of dry grass being rolled around in. Oh my god, no. This damn dog.
Listen, Tasha, I need to tell you. I have these peppers.
Yeah.
And I have the cream cheese.
Uh-huh.
But it's the onion and chive.
Onion and chive cream cheese?
Yeah.
Bomb. We like to use the jalapeno one too. Bomb.
Topping it with my chili pistachios.
Yeah. You know what I've been doing with the peppers and cream cheese is I top them with a bunch of different seasonings. So if we get just like a plain cream cheese, we have an onion salt, Traders, and we'll just like fry up a little piece of like cheese, orange cheese, cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar, and we'll like sprinkle the stuff on top and then put the cheddar cheese on it and like wait till it's crispy, and then it's kind of like a jalapeno popper. We do it on jalapenos pretty often. And then we also have a pickle seasoning from Traders, which is epic, you guys, epic. And then and then I put tahini, like a ton of it on there, like pile it on. It is so good.
Yeah, big bite of something, huh?
Oh my god, I love the MJ song in that movie too.
Why can't I remember what song is that one?
Oh my god, what was the song at the end? We were
I
just
can literally hear it.
Ooh, cream cheese with pepper jelly. Fuck
I
yeah.
look this up.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Hold on.
Why is nobody sharing this information with me?
I can hear the tune in my head.
I can't.
There's no words.
Will you be there? Hold Me Like the River Jordan. That song. I think it's Will You Be There or something like that. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh.
I cannot
It
picture
literally
this.
starts off with Hold Me Like the River Jordan. Yes.
Oh
my God. You guys are the best. Anyways, yes. So
Will you be there? Okay.
The kids loved the movie. Leo especially, he gets like on a kick. And then he was like, how many others are there? There's a 2 and a 3, which we haven't seen. And then there's a remake with, I don't know, what's his name's kid, the Australian that got the
there it is.
stingray stinger in his chest. God damn, what was his name?
Oh,
the Australian
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin, yeah, his daughter is in the remake.
Bindi. They did a remake?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's a little bit different. Yeah, it's still like set in the US, but she comes to visit her grandfather is in the
She's
US.
adorable, that little
She is so adorable, yeah.
And the son,
Free Willy, yeah. Yeah, because that's all I got to do on the 4th of July.
The son is just like him too. I saw a video of the son like handling some kind of critter, and it bit him, and he was so calm about it. Like, it was sweet.
I know. He was always super calm. I wonder how calm he was when he got stung with the stingray.
He was probably calm. He's like,
he probably was
me.
super calm.
He killed me. Like,
have you guys seen a stinger tail?
I don't think he was calm, because if he was calm, he would have known. Don't pull that shit out.
No. Have you seen the stingray barb? First of all, that shit is coated in like a poisonous like membrane, and then the barbs go in the opposite direction, so it's like point, and then all of the barbs come off of it, like
so that when you rip it out, like
all the way down, like going all the way down.
It's like a fish hook.
So if you pull, it's like a million.
It rips you.
Fish hooks, like. Yeah. Anyway, you're never late. And
the Philippines, they have a sword that is shaped like that, where like it. So when you rip it out,
yes,
it like.
Oh my god, it got you.
I can't remember what it's called. I used to remember. Yeah, but yes, you're right. Yeah, that's fucked up. Don't pull that out. Don't pull that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, stingray.
I don't think has there been any accidents like that since he did that. I think we all learned his lesson.
There probably has. It's just not
there are people
anybody
still
worth
swimming with him.
hearing
So
about. No.
I'm not sure what I'm drinking. It's just very strong, and I forgot to put water in it.
And Steve Irwin came to the little lake by us, by our house before, with Reggie the alligator. Do you guys remember Reggie?
No.
He's at the LA Zoo now. There's that guy that lived in Harbor City and released his pet alligator in the lake. And it was living there for a while. And then Steve Irwin even came out to try to like catch him. He was here for a couple days. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh my god.
That was a long ass time ago.
Oh, a long time ago, yeah. All right. So did anybody do any fun treats or drinks or anything for 4th of July? We did a bunch of like red, white, and blue foods because we were just like here. So there was nothing else to do but just like make a whole spread. So we did a bunch of like, we did like a big dessert tray and we actually gave that first to the kids.
Hey, it's a holiday. So
Fuck yeah.
Fuck it up, you guys. And then they had to like make half of their shit. So that helped too. And then we did like a huge barbecue spread and had a blast.
You have a picture of the what it looked like?
Let me see.
I had ideas of what I wanted to do, but then when our last minute trip came up, I was not even going to
it's like
try.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
I just bought everything. I just bought all the
Hey, you got to see Blink. Hey, but did you see his baby?
No. But I did Oh, that is cute.
Ever
with the blue tortilla chips.
Yeah,
I like
That's
that.
Well, it's not.
So you guys did celebrate. You did have your little
Oh.
fun time.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Kids made their like little candy treats.
I like the little plate.
Yeah.
Little
Oh my gosh.
bomb pop plate.
At Walmart, the bomb pop plate.
That's cute.
We saved them because those things were super cute. But we did that. Kids had to like kind of make their own.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know if you guys can see. It doesn't matter. But we just like barbecued and hung out. Had a ton of food out. CJ was busy.
Fun.
Had a bunch of music going. We enjoyed ourselves, and then we had the kids do these.
Oh, fun!
You did celebrate. You did more than we did.
Yeah, that's not just sit around watching Free Willy.
Yeah, so they got to like throw darts at the paint balloons. Sorry, it's not zooming in.
This is what she says when it's doing nothing. We need to see what it is when she's doing something.
We gotta ask for pictures of her nothing from now on.
It's obviously very grand because
so that thing,
wow,
the balloon poppy thing, you put paint on there.
Like we actually took like a little syringe and just filled them with like the cheap like kids paints.
So my cousin.
So you can see like down there, there's one that has just like a little hot pink paint in there, just waiting to go. And then we just like threw darts at it. I don't know.
So for her bachelorette party, she wants to do that. She wants to have like a Princess Diary themed bachelorette party.
Oh, that's fun.
And wants to do that because I guess they did. The mom did that in the movie with the paint and the balloons and the darts.
It's been way too long since I've seen that.
She was telling me about it. Then I kind of registered in my head, and so I think we'll be doing that.
Fun. I love that. It was super easy. We just took like a little skinny plastic syringe and just like sucked up some paint and squirted it in a few times, and then CJ blew them up because it can't. And we couldn't find our balloon pump. We have a ton of those like balloon pumps.
Oh yeah.
We couldn't find any of them.
Never.
Out of nowhere.
Whatever. Absolutely. That's why you have so many.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fun. We did have fun. The kids had a blast, even though we didn't get to go see any works, which is still my favorite part, but whatever.
We still had popping noises.
And we had fun drinks. I have this, I wanted to bring it today because it was very tasty.
Oh.
Well, look at these bitches.
I've seen
like
those.
Smirnoff Ice, 0 sugar, red, white, and berry.
That's cute.
What?
Had I seen those, I would have bought those.
It is so fucking tasty. You worked. Lame.
That is unfortunate.
Did you get to enjoy your evening after at least? Teen ate her weight in watermelon, bitch.
I have no pictures of my
When
phone.
watermelon is good, I'm like unstoppable.
Absolutely.
But it's like rarely that good, so I don't know. Maybe we don't get awesome watermelons. Oh my
Lily
God.
and I figured out how to pick them last summer.
Cutting another
like-
melon now.
What
And
we
how do you-
focus on is making it sure that it's a dark green and only a single sunspot, very yellow, very, very, very yellow. And you want it to have all the brown scratches from the bees on it. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Those are bee scratches?
They're pollinating it. So the more spots on it is more pollinated in it, which means it's going to be sweeter.
Well, I didn't know about the bee part. I knew about the rest of it, but that's cool. And Jessica did not have a good time during the 4th. Is it all the fireworks that just kind of trigger your PTSD? Is that why, babe? I would imagine that would not be an easy.
Listen, I dosed my dog with CBD while we were on the boat. So, and he was fine.
Ours needed CBD, even though we have sedatives for them. Like, it's just, it didn't work.
I've been fortunate enough. I've seen dogs that have babysat dogs that have gone crazy in my house, where they've removed everything from under my sink to hide in the cabinet.
Oh, no. Poor
but-
babies.
I've never, like I said, so thankful that I have yet to have a dog that gets disturbed by fireworks.
That's good. Ours were just
very
like a little
fortunate.
noisy. They weren't like upset or sad. They were just like, oh, I heard that. That's kind of fucking irritating. And then they just
Mhm.
want to like bark along with the other dogs in the neighborhood. They don't usually like start the barking. They usually just join
Just
in.
join in.
Yeah, they join
He's a high anxiety dog as it is. And so when Rosie died, it's been really bad since.
Oh, okay. That makes
So-
sense.
Poor Bucky.
I made sure he came with us on the boat. I felt like we'd come home to the whole laundry room filled with piss and shit.
Hey,
So-
how'd he do on the boat with the CBD and everything? And you guys
No, he
had-
did really good.
Aw, so now you just feel like you can bring him every time and it'll be okay. That's
Yeah,
good. At
I
least
mean,
you
he's
get to
just
miss
difficult.
out.
We weren't near where there was like really any people because it was like pretty spread out. So it was like making sure that there wasn't like other dogs that he'd want to go fuck around with. I don't know what he'll do these days because he's been on his own for
Wow.
half the year.
The neighbor
so-
dogs aren't coming to visit him?
No, not since we closed up the side of the side of
I'm
the
sorry.
fence. Now they just yell at each other through the fence.
Oh, all right. Well,
Anyway,
he needs a buddy. He's bored.
listen,
Oh.
I know, and we keep saying that.
No,
We
like
keep
neighbor
saying he
buddies.
needs a
I
dog.
don't mean another dog because y'all don't need
He
another
does
dog.
need a
You
well,
even
no,
need the one you
we don't need a dog, but he needs a companion. And so I
Uh-huh.
don't know how to get him a companion without us having to deal with it. So
Dude, have you guys seen those like videos or they're like the little quick videos on like TikTok or the reels or whatever? They show like this is the dog that made me want another dog.
yes.
And it's like a wonderful dog, totally calm, relaxed, doesn't get into shit. They just are like the perfect dog, right? And then you're like, God, this makes me want to get another dog. And so you go get another dog, and it's a fucking nutcase of a dog. This thing is just into everything, loud as fuck, totally obnoxious. That's our dogs. The first one made me want a second one. At least I can just blame the kids because I didn't pick it. I did not pick
Wait.
this dog.
So because Bucky's a wild one, does that mean we'll get a calm one?
No, because he's not the one that makes you want to get another one. He's the one that makes you need another one to
Need,
kind
yeah.
of keep his ass in check. There's difference. He needs another dog. All right, let's see. And people setting off fireworks even on the 4th. Yeah, it's like leading up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're like, oh, I didn't finish my fireworks, so I gotta finish them up now.
And then
We need to
afterwards,
do that out here because my city specifically is super crazy about fireworks. They have something like a $50,000 fine
oh,
if you are caught setting off fireworks at home. But we are in a heat wave, but we're also in a higher like fire zone. So that's probably part of it. And
Yeah.
if you set off a fire in the bowl that I live in, I guarantee the 3 cities that are here would just all of them will catch fire and be done.
instantly. Yeah.
They're super fucking anal about it here. Yeah. Which is
Wow.
probably a good thing for people who do have.
Wasn't it like around that area where that one person did some kind of reveal, the gender reveal, and it caught fire.
It might have been in our county, but I'm pretty
I
sure it
think,
was quite,
yeah.
quite far from here.
Okay, but I remember, yeah, it was like
I
somewhere.
think it was maybe in Riverside County.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, hi Sherry, welcome. All right, guys. So now we've done our 4th of July chit chat, and I showed you guys my beautiful blue cocktail here. We can discuss our first memoir as a book club. You Can Make This Place Beautiful by Maggie Smith. And as we all know from reading this week, not the Dame, the American one. We read chapters 1 through 4, the prologue through 47, and ended at a friend says every book begins with an unanswerable question right before please don't. Anyways, how did everybody feel about this week's reading? Started a new bug. How is everybody doing with a memoir? Does everyone feel like this reads like a memoir? Because right now, her writing style reads like a novel.
Yeah, I'm not getting memoir vibes.
I am not, which makes me feel like I'm missing out on like millions of memoirs. Are they all like this? Or is she just gifted?
So she's a poet, right? So like her previous books are like poetry, whatever it is. So maybe that's the difference, is that she wasn't necessarily like writing a book when she started it, right? Like maybe it was more like,
and just her writing style, you know, as
I do really like it.
Writing as a poet and then writing her memoir in that style. Like, no, it's no, I've been enjoying it, and I've just been enjoying like just how she writes. It's nothing like,
it's easy.
I was gonna say it's nothing like, and I don't mean this like in a mean way. It's like not extraordinary, but it's like simple, but like
realistic.
But in such a way where I feel like wait, I wish I could talk this way or explain things this way. Because and not to take away from her, because I'm like, it sounds so simple, but in a good way, like in a
everybody can relate and understand what she's trying to say.
Yeah, but she does it so beautifully.
Right? Like, or you don't feel like you're too stupid for poetry.
It's very relatable. It's very relatable.
But she still does it in such an elegant way.
Yeah, it makes me wish I knew how to speak more elegantly, eloquently, whatever it is. But I'm like, damn, some people are just so well spoken, so well written. Loved it.
Love reading. This is my first memoir, so we'll see. But I love it so far. It was my choice for this year. I'm liking it so far.
Wanting to say, yeah, she is writing as a poet. That's true. So her writing style is going to be quite different.
Jessica says she loves it.
Oh, where'd that come from?
I don't know. Was that not behind me all this time?
Well, it wasn't swaying this whole time.
Oh my God, that was scary. All right, I'm going to put that away. It's like the little shade roller things. We have tons of shades around here, which are amazing. But those things, I just keep running into them. It's scary. Okay. I feel like she's asking more questions than really building a narrative, but it is very original. Well, I think that's actually like up to this point in our reading, I do feel like that's kind of her point, is she is asking questions. And I think that she's trying to ask like the right questions and trying to find the answer. She's not getting there yet. And sometimes, you know, when you get inquisitive like that, you end up finding that you just have more questions than answers. And questions just lead to more questions. So who knows where it's going to go. But certainly interesting. I'm undecided. Some of her words really resonate. But I'm not sure I love the writing style.
Oh.
All right. It's interesting how like every page or so is a new chapter. You know, kind of she jumps back and forth. She goes between like thoughts from friends to like a poem that she wrote, which clearly has something to do with what we're about to read, you know, either before or after. But I don't know. I think that I like it so much because it is so different. I Yeah.
I feel like it's extremely relatable.
That's
like,
a way to
and the back and forth for like, you know, for a lot of us who are definitely diagnosed and undiagnosed ADHD, boom, 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 constantly in the book. It's constantly keeping your attention. She's constantly talking about something else and fresh and new and like, oh, you know, you're not necessarily knowing where she's going with it.
Yeah.
But I just really liked it so far. And I mean, to know that she's in kind of the age ranges, right? Of like a lot of us in book club.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
That's what I was
extremely
wondering. I wasn't sure what-
relatable.
Yeah. Interesting. Jessica says, I love it myself. I thought it was funny when she talked about Meryl fucking Streep reading her poem. Can you imagine? Like, you just kind of find out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There was this, like, you know, big poetry fucking night in Hollywood or, you know, in the world. And no, they didn't invite you, but, you know, they closed out with your poem without saying a fucking word. You just find out about it secondhand later. First of all, that's badass. Now your husband can get mad. Ex-husband can get mad. He was like, oh, you're so popular. Now she is, right? I did find it a quick read. I got through all of this week's reading in one day. I feel the same, which is kind of nice. It's nice that you don't have to like take several days and you don't have to like super take breaks from it. And maybe it's because each chapter is like in the next page that like it just kind of keeps you going, interested. And it's not that much reading because some of her pages are just are things like this where she goes back to a friend says every book begins with an unanswerable question. So she'll have a full page.
Yeah.
What is the next question? Or new damn it, I lost where I made a mark.
Uh-oh.
Damn it. I don't know what my mark was now. Wonder if like my book remembers. Do you ever feel like you can turn it and your book will tell you where it was? Nah, that's not where I was. My book didn't tell me. The only parts I'm not liking are the how I picture it. Do you? Oh, you're not sure why. I was just gonna say, if you had to think about it, what could be bothering you about that specific part?
So it's a voice only one. It's not a video, she said. You can't find it anywhere because they didn't allow recording. But she said in there that she was able to find like just a voice video of her reading it.
Oh.
So maybe just Google, not YouTube, and see what pops up. Or maybe even just Facebook, right? You might be able to find something.
You know, some people, even when they're just writing, are just so poetic anyway. Like, even though maybe they're just writing something, it's just interesting. I love how she mentions all the foreshadowing. So you're like kind of paying attention to where she is foreshadowing. You know what I mean? Like right in the beginning when she mentions the pine cone. She says that her husband had brought it home to give to their son Rhett, who was 5 at the time, as kind of like a business trip souvenir. But she describes it as like a small wooden grenade.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, a couple pages later, there's a title grenade.
Right.
And she finds out where he got the pine cone and who he was with when he got it. Just clever. And I know that this is her actual life and she is not just writing a novel, but the way that she writes is just so clever.
Yeah. I think I like it too because I've talked about my one friend, Julie, who she writes and she just so naturally, and a lot of this reminds me of her, like how she'd write. I feel like without effort too.
Yeah.
You know? Because I couldn't think of that.
No, but I mean, some people are just gifted in those areas. Some people, it just comes to them that way. And for the rest of us, like, maybe we could figure out how to do it with like a lot of guidance.
But like, I'd have to think about it.
For
like
some of us, it just doesn't flow.
Yeah.
It's just not like a natural. But then there are things that you probably do that wouldn't be so natural to someone who can write like this either. They might be like, God, I wish I could do it like that. How do you do it? Everybody's got something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the amount of times we are out with lanterns finding ourselves right now. I don't know if everybody is as much of an Emily Dickinson fan as I am, but I am loving it.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to write these down and I forgot to go back and like jot them down. I really wish there was a way for like our Kindle and our phones to like sync up to where when you bookmark something in the reading when you're listening, it like will pop it up on the Kindle. So you could easily like go back.
An app for that or something.
I have no idea. If there is, send it to me because that would be really cool. So anyway, so I'm gonna play like a quick snippet because there, like, I have a whole bunch of them, but it was like this was the first one where I was like, oh, maybe I should be bookmarking kind of like the spots in the book that would be kind of good to talk about. But this was in chapter 23. I don't know what it's called looking at my phone because it only has the chapter number. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up.
If you open Kindle, it'll tell you.
Yeah. Hold on, let me do that.
There's a lot of like sun reflection going on right now. I feel like I need to move. Damn.
So it was chapter 23 says it's first fall. So this is the beginning.
Oh, the first fall is right when she has her first fall after her baby, who's almost a year old. When Violet's almost a year.
Wait, what did we stop at? Did I not...
48.
So I thought I had the book and I don't have the book. So my book is coming tomorrow. So I've been doing the Audible. What is
the last one we read was Clues to the Mystery.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I did not go there.
Which would have been page 77.
Well, no, I said I was doing the Audible.
About.
So I think I was just doing
Audible. Yeah. So if you just look it up, it matches chapter for chapter on there.
No, but it doesn't have a number. I counted. I think I counted.
Audible
wrong.
doesn't. Yeah, it's like different.
Oh, it's just.
What was it called again?
We finished at 47.
What was it called again?
Mystery one.
Clues to the Mystery.
Clues to the Mystery.
That's the last chapter we read.
Okay, but I wish I had saved that.
I have the Kindle app on my phone.
I have the Kindle app on my phone that syncs, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I just want our Audible and our digital books to sync.
Okay, I must have counted quickly or just wrong. I didn't read up there or listen up there. I should say.
Okay, let me play this.
That's fine. I'm just. Oh, what are we doing?
It was the middle of winter in Ohio, bleak and washed out and bitterly cold. I would sigh a small round circle into the frosted windows, like a miniature porthole, and look out at the world I no longer felt.
Allowed to do this?
Or two.
Postpartum
depression broke over me.
Keep talking.
Wave almost immediately after Violet was born. Though I didn't call it by its name, and I didn't treat it. It's hard to treat what you can't or won't name.
So I felt like that.
I heard. Which one was that? Which
chapter 23?
Oh, okay, yeah.
First fall. Yeah. So when she's talking about how she had postpartum depression and she basically wouldn't like talk about it. She
didn't know what it was called.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure at this point that I've dealt with it with every single one of my kids, except for my first one. I think my first one was the only one that.
Is it possible that you were too busy?
With the first?
With Avery?
Well, I was going to say, not just too busy, but you had a lot of people around you.
You were working.
I was in a very different, no, I wasn't working. I didn't go back to work until she was like.
How you were working? Like pretty quickly after she was born.
No, so I stopped working like 2 weeks before she was born.
Not right now.
I think I went back to work when she was like.
I might be able to.
Like 8 months old.
So,
But I went back to school before that. She was like 5 months old when I went back to school.
so you're busy. I think. Do you think that the community? You had a good community around you, though, too, right?
I had the best support
You had a
system
village.
between like Dominique and her mom and her dad, and our other girlfriend and her mom and dad, and then our other girlfriend who she saw in Vegas and her mom, and my coworkers and like family. And I
Oh,
had
family last.
such
Thank you.
well, I'm talking about like all the extended too. Like it literally wasn't just my family that's like right at the center of it. Like I had so much support with my first one that maybe that's the difference. And then like mom was there with me like constantly.
Yeah.
And then I definitely had it with Lily for just a short time, but I think it was just because of like, you know, adjusting to that. But then, oh my goodness, I don't know if it's the boys. Somebody tell me who has had girls and boys. Is it worse for boys? Because it's 2 years of fog. It's 2 years of fog. And like, you know what's going on, but you're like, I'm just going to get through it. I'm just going to get through it. I'm just going to get through it.
So did you have community with the
I
other
was gonna
one?
say, I don't know that this is
Not, I would
boy
say
girl
probably
thing.
it's not the same, right? So like when I had Lily,
Who
my
was
mom
around?
She
She
had
so
like
came,
I
but she
had
didn't live
Lily.
there. Yeah.
So my mom came out
Yeah.
in January. I had Lily end of February. My mom was there for the first month, I think, month and a half. And she was gone for like a month. And then she came back right before Manuel deployed. And then so in 2012, she spent 9 months with me. So like
Right.
she was so much help, and there was like so much going on with like the other kids too, the eldest, and like so much stuff. So maybe that's part of it is like
Mhm.
I have my mom with me, right? And then with my next two, I did not have her with Odin at basically at all. And then I didn't have her with Ben. She came out with Ben, but she was only with me for like what, a month and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
She was back.
It's a long time ago. I don't know.
Came
And I
out
think that
after
part
I
of
had
it
him,
was
and then went
also
back before
that
Thanksgiving.
at the time that you had been, I think that wasn't Graham kind of transitioning more back home, and so
I had Ben.
while she
That was
was
2015. No, she was
yeah,
still
she
with
had previously. Well, no, she was with Bill. They were not really traveling as much at that point, and they were home more. And I think that she was starting to spend more time at home at that point. But then also, I had just started
that's when they had
fostering.
just gotten married.
But I had just but they were no longer traveling as much. I think they only did like a couple trips after that. But anyway, I had just started fostering. And it was just 7 months in when Ben was born, and I'd had Leo, and I'd had then a couple of other babies that kind of came my way. And I think that was when mom probably felt like, you know, I've been there for my younger daughter when she's had these other babies, and I kind of feel like I need to maybe be there for my older daughter. It was like, for me, I would never know when I would have a baby come in or out, and I would never know like how difficult the situation was going to be for like our family or for that baby and their family. So I think mom kind of felt torn at that time about being anywhere for any long length
I'm
of.
saying that the reason that I went through this was because I didn't have mom.
No.
I'm
I was saying I don't
having
think you
that
got
support
to
with
have
my
her.
mom.
But
This- I wasn't trying to blame you or anything or say that like, you know, you were trying to blame mom for that. I was saying that I personally think that you not having mom at that time made a major difference, because I think she felt torn in like where she had to be. And obviously my situation was quite different than a lot of other people's situations.
Yeah.
But I think she just at the time felt like, where am I supposed to be? Both my daughters have babies. This one has like 8 babies. Any given day, who knows? But I don't know. I just feel like that probably like aided in you not having as much of like a safety net, a support system, like someone to lean on, a village, because you didn't really have much of that then.
See, and I never, like, I knew I had the support, especially with Avery. Like, I mean, everybody.
Hi,
She
Ashley.
was everybody's baby. She literally wasn't just my baby. She was
she was the village baby, that's for sure.
She was Dominique's dad's baby. Like she was Christina's dad's baby. She was everybody's baby. And she was a kid who would literally go to anyone. You never had to worry about if she was gonna cry if you handed her off. She's like, "Oh, you got me now?
Well,
It's cool.
and
Let's go do something."
we gonna do?
they say it takes a village for a reason.
I
And
know that.
I'm not taking. I don't want to take away the idea, or not the idea. I don't want to take away those people that have postpartum that do have a good community. But I
Village
do.
and still have postpartum. Mhm.
I'm not saying like that's the reason why some do or don't, but I was just comparing. I'm sure it is a great help and it relieves if somebody does have it or those
Yeah.
tendencies and
I think,
whatnot.
I mean, like, I think so. I only have one instance to compare to, but then, like, it wasn't just you guys were there while I was pregnant. You guys were there as soon as I had her. You guys were there for the whole 2.5 years until we left California. And so, like, it wasn't just I had your support, right? Like, she had your support, and she was
That's
such an
true.
amazing little toddler because of that, because she had everybody, because she had all of this love. So absolutely, like, if you can get a village, if you can find a village, if you can make a village, fucking do it. Because in then each time I had a baby, it definitely got worse each time, and I definitely didn't go talk to anybody. And I eventually did with Odin, but that was because of like a lot of other stuff too. It wasn't just because of that. But even still, it's a year later, and I
Yeah.
feel like I'm just finally coming out of the fog, and
Yeah.
it makes me so sad for the fact that, like, I feel like I missed a majority of his first year of life. And so, I think that for me, that's where, like, that chapter and that, like, that part just really resonated with me because, like, a lot of us who go through it, like, Dominique, I don't know if you went through it at all. I know that, like, obviously you're local, family's there, Houston's there, all that stuff, friends, everybody, but
But that doesn't always change what people go through.
no, I didn't know if, like, it was ever anything that she went
See, I
through.
don't know.
I know that it was worse with the boys. Like, the girl I feel
Well,
like I
here,
didn't
can
with
we bring
Avery.
up
I feel like it
Teen's
was very
comment to this really fast? She said her description of postpartum and how she talks about her
Anger.
anger. Yes. Teen did read us a story back in January when we were all kind of sharing moments in our life.
oh my god,
With
was
the
that this
prompt.
year?
All
That
these
feels
wonders.
so
Yeah,
long
that
ago.
was
That feels so
January.
long ago.
Yeah, that was our short stories month.
Yeah.
The anger is something that I think so many people feel ashamed of and rarely talk about. A lot of people talk about like the depression and like the lows, but a lot of people don't talk about the rage.
Oh, there's rage,
I was
man.
gonna say,
There
if
is
anything, I feel like that's what I would have had, and that's not anything I would have correlated because you always hear about the depression part.
Mhm. Yeah,
There's fucking rage.
nobody talks about that part.
Yeah.
So you feel like, oh my gosh, this is not the same thing. I'm clearly not depressed. I'm extremely angry. I'm full of rage. And I know that, like, so you guys all had your babies and I didn't have mine. But I can tell you that the hormone shift that my fucking body and my brain went through, it was insane. It was insane. The rage, the anger, the frustration, the inability to help or fix this little person and to fix your little family and to make sure that everybody is okay 100% of the time. And so I may not have had like the physical hormonal shift, but I definitely emotionally had it because when she described the point where she said that she had to try and like get to the bottom of everything, I started logging everything and I had to try and find what the pattern was, the pattern. I remember going through that with Leo, like trying to find the pattern and thinking it must be me. I have to find the pattern. It must be something I haven't figured out yet. And it was horrible. And I remember feeling so guilty for being even angry for a moment that like he's here. I've wanted him forever. Here he finally is. And all I am is upset that I can't fix everything for him. But like the way that she described it, obviously so much more poetic than I could ever speak in my life. But I do deeply feel how she felt. And I didn't have him. So it's amazing how, like, you could just be a mom. You could just have those feelings. They don't always have to be like these major hormone shifts. And as her doctor said, that if you've had multiple miscarriages, you are more likely to have a harder postpartum, period.
This I've never heard of. Like, legitimately,
And that's worrisome.
I've
I'm
never
sure
heard
it's
of
a thing,
this.
and it's worrisome that you don't hear about it. And that
Oh.
could explain a lot of things.
We both had it. I wasn't trying to say that CJ didn't, but he definitely had it. He definitely had it. And I know that he had it prior with Aiden because he was basically a single parent. And he was, on lack of sleep and zero knowledge and, trying to figure it out as a 22-year-old male kind of by himself. So I totally get that. Yeah, men do fully go through the same thing. And I know that he did again when I was going through it, when we were going through it with Leo, because we would just take turns. It was so funny. She mentioned that she would only sleep, or that her baby would only sleep for 20 minutes at a time.
Oh, yeah.
And so they say, like, take that time to rest. And it's like, how can you rest in 20 minutes when you know that baby's going to be up in 20 minutes?
That was her time to jot down everything.
Right. The entire time you're just going to be productive because you know that if you try to lay down and you try to relax and you try to sleep and you try to, like, take a break, that your mind is just going to be like, no, you can't, because this is going to happen in like 20 minutes. It's going to happen in 14 minutes. It's going to happen in 8 minutes. It's going to happen in 3 minutes. And you've already wasted all your time. So instead, you just be productive in that time. Fuck. Memoirs. Bringing up them feelings. And it doesn't matter if you're a dad or a mom. Obviously, I think that, like, just parents go through it. Well said, teen, but you're our resident poet. So you're going to word things better than the rest of us. We should just have you on every week. Speaking of, if anybody feels like sharing or writing some poetry this month, please do. And I know that Teen does. We all know that she does. And she is incredible at it. So I'm hoping that she is, finds some fire to share with us. But aside from that, if anybody just feels the need to, like, write and wants to share, whether you want to just share it in our discussion posts within our private group, or if you want to actually come on here with us and share on a Sunday, please do. It is welcomed. We would love to have your addition to our week because everybody's got something to say. Some people just don't know how to put it together, but we don't have to know because you'll do it for us. And aside from that, I don't know if you guys know, but we work very hard on our monthly playlist. And our monthly playlist this month is very poetic as well. So we're going to make it a game. Listen to that fucking playlist. Learn everything that you can about it, about its artist, about the song, who wrote it, why did they write it, what was the inspiration behind it, what does it fucking mean? What does it mean to the author? We're going to have trivia for the next 3 Sundays. And then I'm going to give away a t-shirt, a genres era t-shirt to our winner. So we're going to have some trivia. We're just going to calculate it every Sunday. And on the last Sunday, we'll do like 2 giveaways. We'll do our regular monthly giveaway and we'll do a fun genres era t-shirt giveaway. You get to pick your shirt color.
You want the shirt.
Fun heather blue and then like a heather peachy pink color, whatever the one that I've worn before is. But let me know and we will get your size and see who our winner is in the end. Pay attention to that playlist. I don't do it for nothing. Love this month's playlist. I do too. I've been listening to it a lot. My kids are digging it too. So, does everybody have like a preferred listening app, like Spotify or Apple Music?
I just do Apple Music because that's just what.
It comes with your phone.
Yeah, and that's what he's like.
It's just
What
what
we
you have.
got.
Yeah.
And that's what I know now. So
What
it
I
just
can and do.
can't say I like it better because I honestly never used the other. So
Jessica's responding to the team here. Yes. Teen does Apple Music. Back to Spotify. I have all the playlists downloaded. Awesome. That's good. So just know that there's going to be some trivia to our playlist, our monthly playlist, starting next week. Next Sunday. We'll do that. Give you guys some time to brush up. I did my research, my homework. Well, Spotify for you, Jessica. Okay.
you know what I'll say back to the book. What I've liked, and I don't know how far we're to go with this, but because evidently I counted wrong and I did not listen long enough. But I get my book tomorrow. I like how she kept like letting it known like she's not bad mouthing anybody here. I thought that was nice. You know, like she's like, this is just, even though you're like kind of pissed off, but she's like, it's not about like hating on somebody. It's just telling.
Yeah. It is interesting that she starts off with like the problem, you know, the reason for her divorce. And
she even said like I could start anywhere. Like where do I start?
Where do I start? Right, exactly. And she doesn't really start off from like the beginning. She kind of starts in like the current or the middle, or you know, she jumps back and forth, and she does like kind of reiterate constantly that she, you know, is not trying to make him look bad at all. And I think that all of the chapters since kind of add up to the little things that like would cause a separation like that would cause someone to like, you know, become distant or whatever it is that she's kind of getting at that point. But it's interesting. She's like, you know, I'm not like trying to be mean about him. Like,
yeah, but
like, it's not just his fault. And then her chapters in between kind of explain like how she was not present sometimes, and how, I don't know if you read the part where she said, you know, it's funny, he gets to like kind of take his little rowboat and go off to an island all day, and he's by himself, and it's just the three of us, and it's our lives and, you know, what we all do together. And then he kind of rows back home and he has some dinner and gets the kids to bed, and then we kind of get up and do the morning routine, and then he rows back away again. And so she just kind of like explains like he isn't really part of like the major portion of her life that she writes about. And so she says it's funny that like, you know, when you look back at like my writing and my poetry, I wrote an entire book and he's not in it. Because the entire thing is about kind of my mom, who was always there.
Those
and
moments that
were always there.
A lot of moments he wasn't there.
Right. He's no longer part of the constant of her life. And I think that does add up to things like a divorce or to people no longer knowing each other anymore. Some people grow together. Some people are comfortable with the growth that the other person has done.
There was 2 years. It was a year. It was like, I don't know, when was it? Colette was like a year old. So I was just like on this busy mode of, you know, taking care. Like, you know, Inara was just turning 3. Colette just turned 1. And so I'm taking her like on this mode where for 2 years, Houston and I realized like we were like roommates, yeah. And I was like we're just roommates right now. Like, yeah, we're like roommates.
Did we lose each other along the way?
We were like roommates with benefits, but that was it, because it was so we got so just like on
a routine.
like routines and like necessities and just like what needed to be done
Mhm.
and just like all that like what do you call like
The monotony of like day
yeah
in, day out. Yeah.
um
And what's more important, like, when you choose to have kids together, sometimes you are choosing to put your partner on a back burner. And it is very, very difficult when you don't have the easiest kids or babies to try and make time for that other person the way that you used to.
so
And
at that time well I was putting myself on the back burner.
Yep. And that is what a lot of parents do. They're putting themselves on the back burner first. They're putting their partner on the back burner next. Putting their relationship on the back burner as well. It's like everything's just autopilot. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to put it.
That's autopilot. That's just and you think like you're gonna get out, but then you get in this zone and then
Good
you
night,
realize
Sherry. We'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah, then we realize like we've been on this autopilot way too long. If fortunately enough we realize that.
Yeah. Yes. And not everybody gets to realize that soon enough or gets the opportunity to kind of take a step back and like reassess like what your priorities are and how you can like kind of switch the routine up to like make it work for everyone who's important. Because I think that like, when we forget ourselves too, like everything then is less important. But all right.
I was trying to go back and listen to my bookmarks, and that's kind of where it was at is
resentment. Oh,
well, sort of. It was at the point of we committed young and we didn't survive each other's changes. And I think that
bingo.
I think that that's a lot of marriages. I do.
What?
Obviously, like Emmanuel and I have been through the fucking ringer, guys. We have been through it. We're still in it, right? But I thought it was really interesting right at the very end of that when she's talking about how she feels like it was always her and the kids and then him. You said it where like he gets in a boat and he goes away, right? I've always felt that way, but I think that that's also sort of a life of a military family where like we have no choice. And all the other military families here can also, point out you have to keep going. You have to continue to keep this whole boat afloat. It doesn't matter who leaves the boat or who comes into the boat. The boat has to float and you have to keep going. And you make adjustments when there are changes. And they don't get to see those adjustments because they're gone. And Emmanuel and I have had lots of arguments about that where he's like, I just don't know where I fit in. And it's like,
ooh, interesting.
You can't come home. And then in the first like couple of days of you being home and you're trying to punish a kid where a punishment doesn't fit because you're not aware of the rule changes that have happened. And there's no way to like sit down and be like, okay, this is what I've changed since you've been gone. This is what I figured out works. This is what I figured out doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. And so like also if you try to do that and times when I'm like, hey, so like this is pull them aside. This is what we're doing. Like, this is how I've been handling it. And then they don't disagree or they disagree. They don't agree with the change you made. It's like, hold on, like I'm doing my best. I was on my fucking own. You were gone for half a year.
And it's like, you didn't just make this decision. It was all these things that like led up to like, okay, this is what is working now.
Keeping the boat afloat.
Yeah. No, I get that. And that's, I mean, again, like, had he been stationed anywhere else, things would have changed. But that's why I said I couldn't do it. I said, I will marry you when you get out, and then he got out. Because our church was right next to the base, so we saw a lot of families, and I saw of that life, and I know like my personality would not be able to handle it, and I would talk about anger like it would not. My personality couldn't handle it. It would not have been good.
Yeah.
See, and I don't know, because obviously I jumped we got married very quickly, which a lot of military families do. And you don't know what the fuck happens until you are literally having to deal with it. And again, there isn't like
Yeah, there's no
before we
book.
got married, obviously we dealt with him deploying,
Mhm.
but it was, this is what must be done.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, there's no choice.
That was hard.
Yeah.
That was hard. And like his sister was with me. We had the 4 kids, and it was a lot. It was a lot. But here's the thing, and I don't know if this is the difference, is that you're also dealing with another woman. So I don't know if it's the difference of like you're automatically, I'm not meaning to shit on anyone right now, but this is just my truth, what I've dealt with, okay? You're sharing the load in every fucking way. There's no questions about who's gonna do what. It's like, hey, a kid needs to be cleaned in the bathroom. Who's available? Oh, you're available. Cool, I got this. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna make dinner. And so it was just like we were so in tune and in unison. And she had no kids. And so it was, I had the 1 and then went to 4, and then she came in, with her nephews, and now we have 4 kids together, and she was helping to take care of the kids while he was deployed. And so I came in to help her, and that's how it started. But we were so in sync, and I don't know if that's the difference. Or any of the lesbian couples on here. How does that work? Does it work the way I'm saying, where you're literally just like in unison?
But you
with
guys
it?
also were in like that kind of relationship where you expected.
No, I know that, but like even like when my sister and I are together,
Mhm.
but even then,
It's a natural thing.
She was so
Well,
quick to like jump in
Unsaid,
and like do these
unspoken.
things. And I think so too, like when mom's here, and
Well, I
like,
think that's it. Like we were talking about in a relationship. I'm gonna go a little bit into my religion, but like it's
That's okay.
the spouse first, and then the child, and a lot of people see that as an importance of how it goes. And when you're with his sister or whatever, you guys, that's not a necessity there.
yeah,
So you're not. It's the kids. So you guys are all
right.
focused on the kids. But when the spouse is involved, your spouse comes before the kids, and you come before the kids. And I think when that dynamic doesn't happen, that's where things tend to have a hard time working out. Because when you, like you said, you guys were in sync, but because you guys weren't expecting either of you to be more important. You know what I mean?
Yes and no.
Because that was your goal. Your
Like, I know
goal
what you're
was the
saying, and I agree
children.
with you, absolutely. I think that there's just the difference of, because obviously this is still something we're working on in our marriage, in our household, where I'm at home, but then even
Right.
if he's home, I'm the one still doing 100% of everything in the house. And that's the kids, that's the cooking, that's the cleaning, that's literally everything. And then it's like, well, why is the house a mess? Well, why are you a mess? Well, why are you angry? And so it's just like you deal with so much more when that stuff happens. And so I think that that's also where, like, I don't, even with him having a job outside the home, and we had we started with a discussion of like, well, when you're home, and now it's 50-50, right? But when you're gone, I do these things. And so then it very quickly it changed very quickly, where that wasn't the case. And so it was me having to do everything. And so like when it was me and her, we did everything, and she
Right.
could have time by herself, or I could have time by myself, or you're going to go to the store, or we're going to split going to the store. I'll go to the store, you go to that store, I'll see you at home in a little bit. But there was just a very easy, we're both in this, we're both working, we're both doing these things. And I think a lot of times, and again, I'm coming from my situation where we're still working on this, there is the thought process that, well, I bring home the money so I don't have to fucking do shit, right? And so like I understand where you're coming from, Dominique. I think even in having that thought process, though, I think that if
No,
you do
I wasn't taking
not,
away from what you were dealing with in your marriage. I was just saying that's why I feel it worked so nicely with her because that.
so yeah, I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly because I feel like I understand what you're saying. I feel like though that there's still a difference between when you have two people in a household, whether you're married or not. Like your marriage doesn't necessarily, your relationship between you and your husband does not mean that then the wife is automatically going to be doing all of these things. Right. And so
No,
like
that's not what I'm saying. I mean,
well,
that's
you're
what I'm saying.
saying
Like,
that your marriage, you in your marriage takes place before like the kids, right? I'm not just talking about the kids. I'm talking about the upkeep of the household. I'm talking about
well, yeah,
like
and that
all these
includes you.
autopilot.
You are part of that.
Right.
Putting you first, and you should be put first in your sanity and in being taken care of and all of that. That's
Maybe that's my
his
misunderstanding is that I'm
priority is
understanding it
you.
differently. And
His
you're saying
priority
that the
is you, and if
priority is
you're
still
not being
needed.
taken care of, that's not
You're not a
working.
priority.
As opposed to his sister, you're not her priority. Not in a mean way, but you guys had equal priority. And
I
that's
think
why it
that what
works
Dominic
so
is just trying
well.
to say in this is that like when you have someone who's going to come in and just kind of like be there for you, like as your village, the expectations of the relationship are different. And people can like ebb and flow differently with different kinds of people. You know, you have like your mom comes in and automatically she knows what to do and you guys don't have to walk around each other. It's almost like you pass and everything flows just flawlessly. Or your sister comes in and she already knows, like, you know, she could clean today, but I think that what my sister needs today is more of a hangout than getting her house clean. So you just kind of like ebb and flow that way. Like, what does she need me to do while I'm here? What is going to help her best? And it's very different when you are half of the actual marriage. Because when you're coming in and you're there to like help someone in their family and in their household, it definitely is not going to work the same as when you have someone who's there all the time, who has the same expectations of themselves and of you and of the family. And then they feel like maybe sometimes they're not meeting them or you're not meeting them or together you're not meeting them. And I can understand how like it's different when you're in a military situation and you have like your family who can come in and kind of help you along the way and you just kind of like get where these other people are coming from. You just kind of work perfectly. And then this person who's been gone for so long comes in and they automatically expect everything to be as it was or the way they expect. And it's no longer like that because in 6 months, everyone has changed. They're older, their needs are different. You know, you've had to adapt and you've had to change. And then you're having to explain yourself almost like you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing without permission. It feels
And
that way.
again, you're not the priority, and you're supposed to be the priority. It's supposed to be you and then the children.
Right. But not everyone's able to do that. And I think that
No,
in
and
certain relationships and in certain households, people need to be able to understand that there is going to be an ebb and flow where your relationship will be number one always. Your partner will be number one always. Or there are times when the needs of your children or the needs of your household will sometimes be number one and
Cool.
that shift
Yeah.
happens. And it is okay to recognize it and it's okay to let your partner know, like, hey, based on what we're going through right now, I'm sorry that I can't prioritize you. I also can't prioritize me. And if I can't prioritize me, it's very difficult for me to prioritize anything. So I do understand how like you can bring in like the more religious aspects of that where like your partner is number one always above everything.
Doesn't mean
But
anything
then
gets put on the
it
back
doesn't mean that you
burner.
don't understand like when somebody
Like,
needs to like change that based on
yeah.
scenario.
Well, that
So,
doesn't change things. It's just, yeah, like
right.
obviously there's bigger things to look at that can be looked at.
So
But
many comments here. Yeah. But like that is where good communication comes in. I
yeah,
completely completely agree. And I do think that people fall out of communication, especially when they're in a situation like the military,
Where communication is hard to have.
Yeah.
where you have no communication sometimes for a half a year on end. And you have to relearn how to communicate with this person when they're back in their
Right.
home finally. It's like getting married and you haven't lived together before and you don't know what each other does through like their morning routine until you're in it. But in the time that you were together, that routine has changed based on necessity. So it definitely is. Oh, and then here we go. People change out of necessity. And the person who wasn't part of the change feels left out. Right. That's why reintegration is typically harder than expected.
I think a lot of things that's hard in relationships too is like, no matter how old you are, when you can get married young, you can get married older. We're always changing. We're always becoming somebody new. We're always learning. We're always, evolving.
Yeah.
Nobody is who they were 5 years ago. Nobody's who. So whether you're getting married at
Can you even
18,
imagine like who you were 5 years ago?
yeah.
10,
So whether you're like, when they're like, oh, you're so young to get married, you're gonna change. You're always gonna change. And I think that's a lot of people don't realize they go. I'm going a little bit everywhere, not just with you, but with what was other was said earlier. We're always changing, and in a marriage, I think, or a lot of people go in not realizing that you're gonna change, they're gonna change. It's
nobody thinks about that part. I mean, we fall in love with a person that we know then, and we don't think about who they might be in 20 years.
Yeah.
And we don't think about what life changes we'll go through that will affect who they might be. But we also don't think about the fact that those things are going to do the same to us and what it might feel like.
Exactly. Like that you're not going to be the same person.
I'm not going to be the same person. And I can't even imagine like all the time. And this is not to say that like everybody goes through this, but for me personally with CJ, I often wonder, like, would you choose me now?
Mm-hmm. I've asked that.
And I know that 25, 24-year-old you would not choose 40-year-old me. That's not the same thing. What I'm saying is if we met now, and if we didn't have 20 years, would you still choose me? Would I be the person that you would imagine yourself with for the next 20 years? Am I somebody that you would pick?
If we were just out on town, right?
We already had one. It's not the same. I mean, we don't always grow together. Sometimes we grow separately. Sometimes we grow at different times. Sometimes our growth is vastly different.
And I think that's why
people don't grow. And
some are stagnant.
Someone who has lived 20 years and you have changed for 20 years. And the other person is still 20 years past and doesn't change and doesn't evolve.
I think that's why they say it's important for like, even when you're married, to date too. Because those that don't, you don't get to know who each other are becoming. Yeah. And that's why you date. Like who, like you go on dates. You go on dates. You start dating to get to know somebody, and you continue to date because you're still continuing to get to know who they're becoming, who you're becoming.
Yeah.
And that's why it's still important to date.
Mm-hmm. And that's where you have to try and prioritize your relationship. And I understand that that's difficult because we don't always get the chance to. And sometimes in our lives,
it's hard. It's hard.
Make it so that you can't. You got to put yourself in the back burner for a while. I have had those kinds of kids that make me less important for a while. And I do know that I have been resentful of that. I have been resentful of the fact that I haven't had more time with CJ. And I'm like, am I resentful to my kids? Am I resentful to myself? I'm only in this situation because of me. Like, who am I mad at here? And then you just feel guilt. But God, there are so many incredible comments, but we just like keep not popping.
Sorry, guys.
No, hold on. We have so many. So Teen did just say that we've had some of the same problems and still are, but I got a job and I can say that my mental health has improved dramatically. It's just part-time, but it gives me such a feeling of empowerment. I do think that like for women who feel like all they have is this one thing, there are certain women who mentally that's not enough. That's it. And that is not negative and that is not bad. It just is what it is. CJ knows that being a mom is something that I always thought that I would never do. And then with him, it became something that I wanted, and then became something that I felt like I needed. And then we couldn't have kids together, and then we adopted them together. And then I felt like this was all I could do. This is all I should want for my life because, you know, you're gifted. Now you have kids. But like, am I okay with wanting more than that? Am I okay with wanting to literally ignore all of my house and my family and my children and my pets and the cleaning every Sunday so that I can read to spend time with you guys on Sunday? I'm more than just what I do Monday to Saturday. And I enjoy that. But I also have somebody who is comfortable with that and will take that on and doesn't make me feel guilty for it. So I feel empowered just being a part of our book club. I know that that's like something that's sometimes simple for others and not enough for some, but I don't know.
As one of the comments that I sort of saved is what was it? How did she word it? Something about how are her kids going to be like upset with her because she wanted a full life. She wanted her kids and she wanted writing. And then
Right.
she went on to talk about how dads don't have that. Dads don't have guilt in
Ooh.
wanting to have a life
We got
away,
the comments on this one
right?
this week.
That they just do it and they don't second guess like, oh, well, I have an infant at home and or whatever, right? Kids. And so I think that part was, I don't know. I find this book very, very good so far and interesting. And a lot of these parts really hit home for me, especially in the last few years. So it's not my memoir, but I mean,
But could it be? Could it be any one of our memoirs if things had just shifted differently? Yes, I do think so. We do have a couple of comments here that kind of, I know I posted our discussion post super late, so I'm sorry for that, guys. I just like kind of drifted. I didn't even think about it until today. Anyways, so Rebecca says in the chapter, A Note on Character, page 39, why is this and how do I adjust to this setting? Along the same lines, page 65, on second thought, I'm dog-earing a realization in my mind now. I don't think fathers are asking themselves these questions. Fathers don't feel guilty for wanting an identity apart from their children. And then she asks, why is that? Why or was or is this your experience? I do feel, and I haven't asked, my response was, I feel like I should probably ask my husband about this. What is his experience in that? Does he feel guilty? Because we can't speak for every man. We can't speak for every husband or every father. But do they feel guilt for wanting a life that is not just surrounding their children? Are they all like that? Do some of them feel guilt? Do some of them feel like I should want to be with them more and I just don't? Or do they feel like, fuck, I wish I could just like not work. I wish I could be a stay-at-home dad. I wish my mom, my wife could work for me and I could just like be home for my kids and for my family and do her job. Like, not everybody gets to have that kind of like question answered by their spouse, but I don't think that this is the kind of question that we, as like the wives or the mothers of our children, can necessarily answer. That was just like my personal opinion. Is I think we should probably ask the hubbies on that one, because their response might surprise us. I don't know if y'all ask your husband questions.
Oh, I asked too many.
I asked too many.
I will ask, but I'm going to say no, I don't think so, because obviously he went into the military after he had one kid and then was very quickly pregnant with the second kid and then had their third kid and continued through 20 years and adding,
but that was then, and
more
we were just
kids,
talking about
right?
people changing all the time.
No, I understand. So Odin is gonna be 2 in just a couple of weeks, and Emmanuel has a job that he stays home for, but he could go into his office because he has an office. He just doesn't. He stays home. However, he has trips that he can go on for this business, and so like in August he's going and he's excited to go. He's like, oh, I haven't been since last year. I haven't been able to go anywhere since basically I got out of the military. But then it's also he wants to be a pilot, and that to me does not work. That's like the same thing as
It's like
being
they're
in the
not- it's like
military.
not the time.
Gone
Well,
always.
It's not just
Not everybody's like that.
well, so that's where I'm like,
Yeah.
so you're saying like, do they feel good? No, I don't believe there is an ounce of guilt because he's like, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. I want to do it. And I'm like, no.
So can you imagine just for a second, and I know that I'm just being devil's advocate here for no reason at all, but
Or a
just
devil.
this question.
Okay.
No, can you imagine like being on the other side of it thinking like, you know what, I just want to constantly provide for my family and I don't think that they're missing anything because my partner has it. She's got it. It's fine. They're not missing anything. They're not being there.
I have seen how
She's got it. And so I can just continue to provide in the way that I feel best.
I don't think that's his thought process because he definitely can see that I do not have it.
I do not have it. I do not have it.
No, no, that's not the thought process. If you guys could see my living room right now.
We have so many comments, but yeah, Des, you're both were focusing on the kids without having to maintain a marriage relationship. That is sometimes all you can do to get through a day.
No, I hear what you're saying with that with Sabrina Ma, but I don't think that I'm voicing it the way that I mean to. I don't think that I'm able to like articulate what it is exactly that I'm thinking.
Because we're not a fucking poet.
well, yeah, you're not a poet.
So
Bitch, look, what if you tried to write it?
I think it would come out the exact same way that I'm trying to say it.
Wrong. What happens is you put 800,000 words together and then you drop them down to 400.
And I circle the whole time. I'm a circle back girl. And it's gonna be the exact same thing again and again and again. And it's gonna be the same thing I've just said. Mm-hmm.
God, right? Can you imagine like how much you've actually changed from even just 5 years ago? And I know that Jessica, you've made a major change, more than most of us go through. But yeah, even 5 years ago, I was definitely not the same person that I am now. Not the same wife, not the same mom, not the same friend, or even sister.
She's a bigger bitch now, guys. Kidding.
Except I feel like I'm a little less of a bitch than I was maybe even 2 years ago.
Kidding.
Fuck you, you're not kidding.
Imagine if we hadn't changed though.
God, can you imagine? You guys already know 20-year-old me, 21-year-old me. You guys already know. I was fucking trashed all the time. All I cared about was like dancing for like 14 hours a day. I don't know. And not in that way, but like.
But listen, Dominique would be sitting on the live with 151 on fire. So
same, because I fucking made all you guys do that for your 21st birthdays. Like, I feel like I'm your guys' bad influence.
No,
but I am no longer that person.
You're not the bad influence. You just helped our.
You facilitated.
I definitely facilitated
some bad behavior.
A lot of bad behavior. A lot.
Whatever. We had fun.
We knew what we were doing,
but
you just helped us do it.
Mm-hmm. You gave us the green light, but also I was 21 in the bar. They were.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm definitely not the same person. I don't know if 40-year-old CJ would choose 21-year-old Tasha, but I probably wouldn't choose 21-year-old me at this point in my life.
I don't know.
However, I can say that I might actually choose 40-year-old me for my next 20 years. I can say that.
There's a few Houstons I wouldn't have chosen.
I was going to say, thank you for being honest, because
there's a few CJs I wouldn't have chosen too.
I mean, there's a bunch of me too. Like, yeah. The rage time.
I said that to him. I was like, I don't know. I don't like who you are right now.
Ooh.
I've said it. I was like, I don't like this part.
No.
This version. I'm waiting for it to go away. I've said
Mhm.
that.
Right? Where do we grow from here? I don't know.
It'll just happen. You don't have a choice. They're just
Hmm.
along for the
Well,
ride.
there it is. You gotta.
Maggie says, who knows with work and
Where
therapy
is
what
that?
would happen.
Where are
Would
you
our
guys
marriage have been
saying that?
saved? The betrayal makes that an unanswerable question.
Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna say that that was one of my last notes too for this week's reading.
Well, I remember she even said about not finding. She said the same thing, right? Would not finding that postcard, would we still have been married? Would things have changed? Or
Yeah. And then Tina has a couple of highlighted comments. One is everything we learn from someone who is imperfect.
I
And
like
she
that.
mentions that in relation to the Buddhist that she comes across, and finds out that he
Was definitely
is
imperfect.
not the person that we would all imagine a Buddhist to be.
Mhm.
But behind everyone who has something decent to share is still a human being. So.
Well, and I like that because there's a lot of people. Again, nobody is perfect. That doesn't mean that nobody has nothing to teach or share.
Right. I agree. And then to further that, her next comment was in the section, a note on betrayal, and she highlights betrayal is neat because it preempts me from having to really look at my marriage.
Yeah.
At the end, my husband and I were distant, and the distance makes sense. If you feel that someone is being unkind or unfair to you, you don't want to be close to them, and then you aren't close to them, so you grow further apart.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. When you start seeing the little changes and you're like, instead of saying like, I don't like these changes or these aren't changes I'm comfortable with, you just kind of like come to resent them. And then
Mhm.
instead of saying something again, you just grow further apart.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting book we're in this month. Everybody taking a look at their relationship, all like, who would you be if you didn't have me?
I mean,
I
it
don't know.
was a year ago that I chose this book.
You were in a different place then too. I mean, we were looking at 12 different genres. And the place that you were in at the time, this one made sense for you, and that's okay. And it's also okay if you're in a different place from then that you are now.
Yeah. Different place, different you.
It's also okay that this brings up feelings and memories and moments that you're like, fuck that. I don't ever want to go back to that too. You know, like progress is still progress.
Yeah. At any speed.
And some people have a pie cone and a postcard. And there's no progress. You end it there.
Mm-hmm. No, but yeah, so no, I did not look up this book, so I have no idea where is it. Yeah, curious, but I've been say it again. Yeah, I've been enjoying this book. It's kind of like it's a little. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a little slightly sadistic that I like this book because it's like you're like, oh, I'm enjoying this book, but it's like harsh realities. And it's not like I'm not enjoying that she's going through that, not at all. So it just makes it interesting. Like
I do love that the way she
you know what I
makes
mean?
me, like reflect on like where I've been. Like CJ and I have been together for 20 years. So we've been married for 18 years this year. So it's like I definitely feel like I feel myself reflecting, looking back to moments where like things could have gone a different way.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, we've had our moments where, you know, CJ and I weren't in the same place. I mean, honestly, when we met, we weren't in the same place. So it's surprising that we ever were able to make it beyond that point, because he was already like a divorcee. He was already a single dad. You know, I was 21. Like, all I wanted to do was drink Red Bull and dance all night at a club. I wanted to watch people get fucked up and not do it with them, but just watch them and enjoy it. I wanted to like people watch. I didn't want to baby watch. I didn't want every moment of my life to be a reflection on like what kind of parent I was. Like, I definitely was in a different place. CJ and I like did not start in the same place, and I'm very surprised that we were able to like grow together versus apart, because we really should not have grown together based on where we both were. But he was super fucking patient. And I think our author mentions that, like, if I were to wait it out, like, what would happen? You know, like, what would happen if you just kind of like wait for them to come around, or wait for them to change their mind, or whatever it is. But like, CJ did wait. So we haven't always been on the same page, but like, I was a fucking child who just wanted to get drunk and fucking party. If we're being honest, that is the truth of when CJ and I met. And I was like, fuck, you have a kid? I mean, honestly, that makes me love you, because I already know that you're in a good place for me to continue with, and a good place for you to continue with. I don't know how. Honestly, if he probably wasn't like Desiree's friend, I don't know if.
We were barely friends when you
It
guys
doesn't matter.
met.
It doesn't matter. Well, no, you introduced me. So, like, honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You had mutual friends. You hung out. Didn't matter. Like, I don't know where it would have gone. We didn't all have like similar friends at the time, and I don't know. And you weren't insisting that he was this like fantastic dad. He fucking was, but still.
No, he was a good dad.
Why was
But-
that a selling point, Desiree?
Why wasn't that the selling point?
Why was that a selling point? Why was that a?
No, she didn't say I said that.
Oh,
No. She had mentioned it at some point. She was just like, he's a single dad, you know, he's really good at it, blah blah blah. But it was
I've
only
been around him and Aiden.
yeah.
Like I think if I were to pull up my digital camera from 2004, pictures
Team,
of a
we'll see you next
little
week, babe. Have a good night.
2-year-old
Good night.
Aiden would still be on there. Little fucking red curly head baby.
Yeah.
And that was, I believe, pictures from before they'd even met.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'd met yet at that point. But like, I'd barely known CJ. Like, I was hanging out with my girlfriend, and then we went over there, and I met CJ there. And then we went with
mutual friends.
yeah, to a Halloween party, and that's when they met.
No.
Wasn't it the Halloween party,
Mm-mm.
or was it before that?
Mm-hmm.
When was it before that? I
Like
don't
3 weeks
remember.
before.
I don't know why I always think it was the Halloween party at Josh's.
No. That was just another thing we did. But no, I had been coming off a breakup, and I was all cranky and shit. And Desiree had been like talking about CJ for a while. She was like, I have this friend, he has a kid, blah blah blah. He's this like, you know, just slightly older than me, punk rocker, blah blah blah. And then she like shows me pictures of him, and I was
Whoa,
like,
what you mean
oh,
slightly older? He's 5 years older. Whoa, back up.
that's only slightly. That's like
That's not
baby
that's
step.
5 years.
Look, compared
5
to the fucking books we read now, he's an infant. Okay.
Okay, we're not talking about a vampire who's been alive for 2,000 years. That's not what we're talking about.
We're also not talking about a professor and his student at this point. I'm just saying. Look at Dominique.
Dominiqu's
just
like, where are
saying,
these books?
like,
What are the titles?
They were
Where are
like
the books?
5. They were 5 years apart. It doesn't matter. They're 5 years apart. 80 and 85. But anyways, Desiree was like, "Hey, look at this pic. He's a hot punk rocker dad, and he's really nice." And I was like, "Okay, you're right. He is hot." And then she knew that I was kind of upset, and I had been off this breakup, and I came home from work, and I smelled like In-N-Out, onions, and burgers and grease. And she was like, "You want to go to a party?" with me up in PV, and I was like, "You do realize you smell like fast food?" And she's like, "Let's go." And I was like, "Okay, so I'm not changing." And she's like, "You can put a sweater on. Let's go." Basically, that's how it went.
I don't even remember this.
You don't? Oh my god! I
No.
came home from work that day, and you were like, "Hey, so Josh is having a party up in PV. Do you want to go? We're leaving in like a few minutes." Who the fuck went with us? Dominique, did you go?
I did not there. I did not there. I
No,
was.
you didn't go to that one. You didn't go to that one. Okay. Anyways, you were like, "We need to go if we're gonna go," and I was like, "So I can't shower?" And you were like, "No, I'm leaving now." And you had already showed me like CJ's pics or whatever. So I had already seen him. I already knew he was hot. I already knew he was a dad. I already knew he lived in Redondo. I already knew several things. And you were like, "Let's go." And I was like, "Well, I've had a bad day, and I smell like onions. I'll throw on a sweater.
was this
I'll
when we
totally
went to
mask it." I
some
threw
sort
on a
of parade?
sweatshirt and jeans. I changed. I threw on a sweatshirt and jeans, and I literally smelled like junk food and onion. It was disgusting. Poor memory. Huh? Yeah. And she's like, "Hey, let's just go. Like, you don't have time to like shower or whatever. You're fine. Get dressed. Let's go." So I just changed really fast, and we head up to PV, and that was when the whole core memory also like really kicks in, because when I met CJ, Desiree had like walked through their kitchen door, our friend's kitchen door. So she like steps in because I think you'd already been there before.
So you know
Yeah.
how to walk in there.
You already knew how to navigate. It's fine. Anyways, house is fucking popping. Big old PV party. Typical rich kid bullshit. But anyways,
Josh.
I'm following behind her, and I don't realize that there's like a lip at like the kitchen door, which is the side door, not the front door. It's the side door, but it goes in the side door. And I don't realize that there's a lip that she's like stepping up into. It's only like 3 inches.
She
Like,
could say, "Watch your step." You never been
no,
here
she's just
before.
Well,
walking.
if she's sober and I don't think she's a dum-dum, why would I tell her?
No, there's no reason for her to tell me watch your fucking step. Like, I'm an adult. It's fine. I'm a 21-year-old, but still an adult. And anyway, this is like, I think this was the end of September, and there was no reason for a party. Because
There's
I had
always
only
a reason
21
for a
for, like, just
party
over a
back
month.
then.
I was about to say.
If the parents were gone, party. It's a Friday
His parents
party.
were gone, so
See,
that's
a
how it was.
reason.
And
So
he was
anyways, Desiree
definitely,
walks
like,
in, and as Desiree walks in, she kind of steps to the side to like say hi to people that she already knows. And yes, like I think Anna.
Hold on a second. This story just took a turn because we know I don't know people.
No, Anna was there.
Like,
You bring
even
me,
back
Desiree?
then.
Anna,
Huh?
I don't know which side. Anna was already there, and then
Anna is how obviously I met CJ.
right, and Corey
But-
was there. So you walked
Who?
in and already like went to say hi to
Who?
Corey.
Oh, yes, I did know Corey.
So you like step in, you're like, I already fucking know like 2 people here. It's fine. I'm gonna go say hi to those 2 people, and here we go. And I'm like, well, I don't know anybody here, but please step away from me and make me feel uncomfortable.
You know Anna.
Sister.
Stop
I don't
it.
care. But I didn't see her because I didn't walk in. Like where you walked in. So you walk in, you see 2 people you know, and you fucking go say hi. And I walk in and I'm like, I don't fucking know nobody here. But anyways, as I step in, CJ is standing in the middle of the room, and I am not exaggerating. If I did not see everybody who is in there, and there are like 30 fucking people in this kitchen, they all separate, and it's just CJ standing in the middle. Just CJ.
It's like a 90s movie.
And there's just like a surrounding of people
There's
around
probably a
him,
spotlight.
very punk rock, whatever it is that he is at that time. It was I wouldn't call it a meet cute. It was just a
It was a cute.
it was something. It was something. It was definitely destined. I don't know. But anyway, so he is standing there, and as I step through this threshold that I don't realize has a 3-inch lip, I fucking trip on it. Because I'm busy staring at him in all his hot glory.
It is like a meet
You
cute.
could not have placed him better in a fucking film. Like Desiree walks in and says hi to her friends. A bunch of people who are in the way originally just kind of part. And then I go to step in and I don't know that there's a fucking lip and I trip. I didn't fall straight on my face, but I definitely tripped and looked like an idiot. CJ saw it. But anyway,
I'm sure she did.
I was like, oh, fuck, I don't mean to look at you. And I kind of go to the side where my sister is and her friends. I literally fell for him, right? I mean, I didn't hit the ground, but there it is. And then I like Desiree and Josh. Desiree kind of brings me to Josh, who it's his house. So she brings me to Corey, who's a friend of Josh. I say hi. I'd already known Corey. I'd already met him several times through like this coffee shop that we all kind of hung out in. But I'd never seen CJ there. Talk about red string. Like we literally grew up in the same 10 miles and went to the same places with the same people at the same time and never saw each other. Nothing. But
It was
anyway,
the time to see it. That was the time to see it.
yeah, it wasn't the time, I guess. So anyways, we eventually get introduced and he and I kind of flirt all night in a very innocent way. It was very, very cute and silly and adorable and like we didn't know what to say to each other kind of way. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it. Like, I don't know what to say to this person, but I'm just going to say whatever comes up first. So CJ's drinking a beer and I was like, what are you drinking? And he's like, a beer.
Just like this girl.
He just goes, a beer. And he takes a sip. And I mean, like, he doesn't know, but Desiree has already shown me him. I already know,
So
like, kind of.
she already knows.
He doesn't
So it's
know.
like one of those things you don't want to
already.
like give too much information.
No, and I don't want to
Like
be like,
I know all about you.
No.
So you're trying to get to know him by simple
I
questions.
am
Like
sort of.
that question was a little too
So
simple.
we're chit chatting and eventually, like, we're introduced
Oh my
between
God,
her
I'm
and
tickled.
Corey. And Corey is his best friend. And obviously my sister is there introducing me to like kind of everybody. And then they like kind of walk away for a minute. Oh, bye. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, so what are you drinking? And he just goes, a beer. Like, obviously that's not what I meant. I'm not a fucking moron. I can see you're holding a beer bottle. But I was like, hey, can I have a sip? Because his mouth had touched it. And for some like gross reason, I just wanted to touch his mouth. So I was like,
You fucking freak.
I was like, I just want
Moment one. She's being a freak. Wow.
I wanted to sip where he was sipping from. And turns out that he had the same feeling. So we talked later about it and we were like, how did you feel at that moment? And he was like, I was so fucking glad when you asked for a sip of my beer because your lips were touching where my lips were going to touch.
That's so like cheesy and cute.
Isn't it so gross? I love it.
So fucking cheesy. CJ.
I love it. And then
CJ
we were
brings a
chatting
beer to you
later
right now.
and I was like super rude. I don't know why I thought that was fun for him, but I was kind of
the rudeness.
I was like making fun of his piercings and whatever.
Because that's what
Right?
we do.
That's
You know
what-
when they
that's what
talk
I
about, oh, when boys like you, they're mean.
Yeah, so I was mean. I was like, hey, you know you have a dick piercing, right? And he's like, and I was like, well, I like your attitude. So that was kind of how that went. And then later, his friend Corey, that we kind of all already knew, was like, hey, Desiree's sister, right? And he was like, yeah, definitely Desiree's sister. And that was like kind of how it all began.
Definitely Desiree's sister. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what the conversation was between Corey and CJ. Corey said to CJ, Desiree's sister, right?
Oh.
And he was like,
I thought he was talking to you.
That was it. That was the whole conversation. Definitely Desiree's sister. And I was like, damn, like, I was mean. Are you sure?
I'm trying to find the picture at Josh's house of me, you, and CJ in the photo.
And then a couple weeks later, or a few weeks later, we had hung out at like the coffee shop a few times, and then he'd had his like yearly Halloween party where his dad disappeared and everybody came over and got wasted, dressed in whatever they were wearing. Desiree showed up as a pink lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a vampiress or whatever.
Vampiress.
And we have a super cute photo where we have only ever looked like sisters.
No, we definitely look like sisters when we have rounder faces. Stop pretending.
I don't feel like we look like sisters today, and we both have round faces.
Look, we both look like demons right here. So
Well, I'm 800 pounds and you're 3, so.
yeah, but we're both the same demon. So
We don't look anything alike. We don't look anything alike. But anyways. Would CJ choose to be with 21-year-old me at 44? Probably not, because I was not nice. And I thought that like being sassy was like cute. It wasn't.
But it was at that age.
To him at that point, yes, clearly.
Oh.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
god.
Oh,
look at these
look at that.
babies. I'm trying to find this photo and I'm coming across a bunch of oldies. That's Dominique and I at prom.
Oh.
Baby
I
Daz,
know
Big
this photo
Dom.
is in here. I know it's in here. I don't know where.
I don't know. I just remember being excited to like go meet him that first night. I was like, I've seen his picture. He doesn't know anything about me. I'm gonna be a fucking freak, but I'm gonna go. And I smell like onions. So
But onions is
yeah,
yummy. You probably got in and out the next day.
right? I had like in and out points. I don't know.
Somebody else procure this damn image. I have scrolled back to 2011.
You may not have it.
Well, CJ and I met in 2004.
No, I know. We definitely, it had been shared on Facebook, not.
Oh,
MySpace,
oh,
but it
that's
had
where
been
you're
shared on
looking.
Facebook.
On
And
the
so,
Facebook.
Oh yeah, we've been tagged
yeah.
several times. Yeah.
So I'm trying to find going through my side, and then I was going to go into your page, but this is taking forever.
But CJ and I have grown totally different over 20 years. Definitely not the same people. I definitely didn't think I'd become the kind of person who was like, hey, the way you talk to our kids actually affects how I feel about you. I didn't think I'd be like that.
This is funny. I guess I'm not paying attention to any comments. This is funny.
Mm-hmm. Literally. I did. It was so embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't remember it, which means me walking in was not a core moment for him. Thank goodness. The core moment was when I asked him to sip his beer. Nasty.
Does he remember you asking what he was drinking?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, he does. We talk about that moment like often.
What does he remember thinking when you asked?
I want to share my beer with her.
Okay, so he didn't think it was a silly question.
No, he's like, I wanted your lips to touch where my lips would touch.
Oh, that's cute. So he was
I wasn't like so
she was
bold
like
to
this
think that we
dumb
would kiss
chick.
that night, but
Oh.
I wanted your lips to be where mine were. And I was immediately, when you asked about my beer, I'm saying, can I taste it? Why did I need to taste a beer? Nobody needs to taste
There you go. Yeah, beverage. Rebecca, that's funny as shit.
Yeah. Our beverage makeout, exactly. Nasty.
Tosh, I need my hair cut like this again.
Your mushroom that grew out?
No, this is the haircut you gave me at Christmas 2008. Oh my god.
I know you're
it's
cute
like the bob.
You're good. You're so cute with bob. With a Robert.
My phone might die before I even find this photo.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm
You need
trying to find
another
it.
Robert. I don't know if anybody there where you live can cut you a Robert, but
What?
A Bob?
Robert?
A Robert?
Wow.
You're almost 40. It's not a Bob anymore.
Then what is it?
You gotta call it at its property.
Government name? Mm-hmm.
What is it?
A Robert?
Wow.
It's not a Bob or a Bobby or
Yeah. I think I might find the beginning of Facebook and scrolling all the way back, just FYI.
I'm sure I have that picture somewhere, but I'm not looking.
This was probably the last time I made a red velvet cake.
When was that?
We're talking about red velvet cake now.
When I think I was 25 at this one. Where is it? It was like we did like a Mardi Gras themed cake. Oh my gosh, look how little Mason and Avery are. And Eli. Eli,
Oh,
right here.
babies.
Eli, where's my finger? Ooh, right there. Eli will be 21 tomorrow. What?
Oh my God.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, I remember what you were doing when you were 21. We were just talking about that a minute ago.
I know, Rebecca. I'm trying. I'm trying to scroll. I know. Listen, I went and I got Mexican food. And so I had eaten. And then I drank 2 of those big fucking martinis. Or not martinis. I'm sorry.
Margaritas.
Margaritas. Because I don't fuck with martini. And then we went to the bar. And then we went to the bar. And then there was loss of memory. And somebody's stomach being pumped. Not mine.
No. Did it get pumped?
Rude.
Did it
This
get
is
pumped?
where I come in.
Not me.
I'm sure of it.
What?
Is this where I come in?
It didn't
no,
have
lots
to.
of.
Is the
You
stomach?
didn't
pump
have to?
fault?
No.
Weren't you?
That's just like when somebody my size comes in that way, it's an automatic thing that they do.
You'll find
It's
it
an
in 10
autumn-
minutes.
You
That's what I'm
guys
saying.
did not have to take me to the hospital.
I didn't take you anywhere. I went home and blacked out for 24
You
hours.
took
My
me to
mom
the
woke
hospital.
me. Christina.
That was unnecessary.
There it is. But where's the one of CJ? Of
I
all
don't
3
have
of us
one.
in the photo.
I have it.
There's
I have
one
a-
of the
This
3
is
of
my
us. But
sister's.
You guys
there's
do
the 2
look
of
like
us.
sisters there.
I don't know. I got
Different
beady
eyes.
and she's got
Literally.
Okay, I'll
Not the
tell you
same
this.
eyes. Not the same eyebrows. Not the same nose. Not the same smile. Not
That's
the same.
because you overplucked.
Okay,
in
I
the
don't know what
90s.
it was, why, but first time I saw you in high school, we walked by and I looked at you. I was like, who is? Like, I was like, that looks like Desiree, but not like Desiree. I didn't know you. I didn't know you had an older sister, but I walked by your sister and I'm
Rude.
like, and I felt like I was looking at you, but you don't.
That's so
I don't know
funny.
why. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint it, but I remember walking past your sister and thinking that you guys had to be related.
Cousins. Distant.
But I had never seen your sister before.
Right? Like, I honestly don't feel like there was a time when Desiree and I have actually looked like sisters look.
Well, but you
Hey,
guys
wait a
have
second.
to have
If you
because
zoom in, though, you can see we both have freckles.
I don't
That's
know what
it.
it is. I don't know what it is, but like I remember walking past you thinking like, and then when I found out you were, I was like, okay, yeah. I don't know
Like,
what it is.
literally, not one of our features is similar. Not one.
Nose is different. Lips are different.
Dude,
Eyes are different.
I
Chin is
thought you guys were sisters before I met you guys. Like before I
That
knew
is
your sister.
so
Before
wild.
That is so funny.
I remember walking past you because like I was like having this weird snotty moment at school. Like my nose was like dripping, and I'm like trying to hide from everybody. And I saw you like, oh, she looks cool. And I don't want her to see me looking like this. Like with like my snot was like it was like my nose was doing this weird allergy thing, and I was trying to hide from everybody. It was just pouring out.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You poor thing. Your allergies go way back. Desiree and I are over here just like, hey, back then we were just thinking like nobody's gonna know we're ever related. Except for like we literally had the only shared last name that there was in the entire town.
Yeah.
Probably in the in like the county, the city,
Not
Southern
in the state.
California.
I can tell you that because there were I think there's one other like family that has our maiden name in all of California, and maybe 2 other families in all of the United States that have our maiden name. So it's weird.
Well, there's
Honestly,
people in
the
Northern
day
California.
that our DNA came back and Desiree was not the milkman's, I was shocked. I was shooketh that day.
Ma,
Shook it.
Ma, how you gonna let her talk this shit right now?
I was like, there's not a chance that this daddy that made me look just like him is also her daddy. Not a chance.
I
A chance.
actually don't feel like I look like my dad at all.
No, you fucking don't. You don't
I
look
don't
like
think so.
anybody on his side of the family. It's
Oh
weird.
my
as
god.
shit.
Okay. Listen.
Except for actually, you look like our cousin's kids a little bit. You look like Fawn's kids. You look a little bit like her girls.
You mean they look
That is
like
all.
me?
Okay, they look a little bit like you, but like Fawn's older than us, so I just thought, okay. Anyway,
Yeah, well,
rude.
her kids are way younger. So
Anyway, I've
trying to
talked way
find a
too
picture.
long about CJ and our meeting.
Let's see.
I guess you could call it a meet cute, where I was like, "Hey, what are you drinking?" And he was like, "A beer." Clearly, thank you. Do you want to share? Yeah,
Where?
that is
Dominique.
my egg
I
donor.
don't think you ever actually met our dad, right?
I don't know. I think I did. He was at your wedding, right?
Yeah, he was at our wedding.
Yeah, I met
No?
him at.
Mine.
Oh, her wedding. I was like, mine.
Yeah, I
No.
wasn't at
Let me
your
put
wedding,
there.
so
He
that
was in
wouldn't matter.
Hawaii. He wasn't at mine. He was in
I wasn't at
Hawaii.
yours either.
Well, that's because some
I
bitch didn't show up.
smile like that.
No, you don't.
I look
No.
exactly like our dad. Definitely do. Yeah.
Tilt the angle.
It's like eye shape. Hold on.
Maybe let me find like a younger photo. Maybe a younger photo.
We even have like the same crooked smile.
So
Isn't that weird?
honestly, God, you guys have always said you don't. But what did I see? Like, how did?
I'm not fucking sure. You just saw the freckles. That's oh my god. I literally.
Is that it? Oh,
That's dad at like
there's
what,
something.
10,
There's something
12?
you guys have.
I literally have his eyes and his chin and his like.
There's something that you
I'm
guys
pretty
have.
sure that like my eye shape, if you actually look at it, I have like right here, it's like a longer, flatter, and then the eye shape, which is similar to our dad's eyes. It's not like mom's eyes. But my eyes are still smaller than Tasha's. And so
Well, you could be smaller but the same shape.
You know when you like
baby eyes.
if you take your features and you put them on different face shapes. Have you seen those like little like apps
It
and
looks all
stuff that do
ugly.
that?
Usually it looks ugly.
Yeah. So turns out that mine are super alien. My eyes, my nose, and my mouth are actually way
I'm
too
gonna
big.
pee. Please stop. I'm gonna pee because it's
Way
so
too big.
true.
And every time I do it, it looks like a mouth like this on everyone else's fucking face. And I'm like, what the how is that a heart?
I don't
Every
know.
time my eyes are like this, but
They're
on mine,
Dominique.
like,
See, I don't know.
Wait,
Definitely. See, I don't know. I mean, I've always thought Tasha definitely looks like dad, but I feel like I don't look like anybody.
Mm.
What's interesting, what I think is funny, is like on Snapchat when you can like look like a female, look like a boy, whatever, and it's just like the boy face of you.
we look like
So it
our
puts-
brother.
Oh my
That's
god!
funny.
Like that's the only time we all look alike is when we look like men.
No, not men.
Well-
Specifically, our half brother who has a different dad. Like we don't call him a half brother; he's our brother. But the
No.
only time we all look alike is when we do like the dude filter, and Desiree and I look exactly like Mikey.
I want to do a dude filter right now.
No, so listen, I feel like is that going to be what Odin looks like? Because Odin definitely looks more like me. So I'm not sure if that's good genes for him. I don't know if that's good genes. I don't know if like my male presenting face on Snapchat is a good representation for him because he might want to, I don't know,
Who knows?
work out, grow a beard, change your hairstyle a bit.
I mean, he still has masculine features, even for like a 2-year-old. But
He's a cutie.
he is such a cutie, little stinker.
He made me take a picture of him the other day. You were BB?
BB?
Good job.
Oh, pee-pee? Or
No,
BB?
not up. Not right now.
You look like your dad. I feel like everybody has like a parent that they look more like. Like, of course, you have like small things that like clearly that's like my mom or that's my dad, but like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody has like a parent that like, I definitely look more like my parent or my parent's side.
Where'd he go?
It went away. Oh my goodness gracious.
He has Ben's old glasses on. We took the lenses out because he
No.
had to get new frames.
In love. You know, you
Yeah.
guys know how much I wore like frameless or like lensless glasses for like ever.
I wore a lot of fake glasses.
Obsessed. I wore so many fake. That was
I-
such a
There's
fucking
glass. There's a frame in there, but it was clear,
pop punk look. Yeah.
like Lisa Loeb.
Oh my god, Lisa Loeb.
That's what I was going for.
She was fantastic. Speaking of playlists,
Do we have a Lisa Loeb?
our author mentions a lot of music in her book. Playlists mean a lot to her family. So getting this one right was a big deal. Because it's not all that she has in her book. We definitely have taken some things in her book and put it in our playlist this month, but a few of them were like inspired by the story or inspired by poetry or were just a flashback to her younger years. So it's kind of a fun playlist. Does anybody else have like a playlist for everything?
No, I have one playlist that I play on repeat.
You don't like make like when I'm feeling like this or like these are like my blues play, like I'm in a
No
fucking
longer. I have one playlist that covers all of those emotions at
Mm.
once.
I use emojis. A lot of the time I'll be like in a mood. A lot of mine are titled in a mood, but the emoji tells you what mood.
Oh, I
And then
like
all the
that.
music, and then all the music like proceeds. So if I'm in a mood, like a nasty mood, it's gonna have like the little devil face, right? Duh. And then it's gonna be like all trashy music that might put me in a mood. But then I have like my sad moods, my all American moods, where it's like all country.
I'll never understand, but my son does. My son is the only one who listens to country.
Wait,
The
you
little-
have several. Which one?
Nope, just the baby.
Just the baby.
Odin listens to country, so Manuel put it on the boat. And I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
"Do we have to?
He's already topping my favorites list.
Do we have to?
Yeah, you do. That shit's fun sometimes. That's 4th of July playlist, okay? It has to be country. Like, what else is it?
Well, somebody said that Morgan Wallen isn't country.
I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. Leo's favorite song is Whiskey Glasses.
Okay.
Oh, is that
Aiden?
that?
No,
whiskey song?
Leo's favorite song, not Aiden. Leo's favorite song is Whiskey Glasses. He will belt that fucking song out.
Is that a song that's been everywhere?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Oh.
It's old.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Just kidding.
It's a song about heartbreak. So my kid's screaming about whiskey glasses. So that's fun. Anyway, I love playlists. So if anybody wants to share your playlist with me, I will give it a listen. And then I'll probably obsess over 1 or 2 songs in there. And it'll be all I listen to on repeat for the next 7 days, maybe more.
I don't feel like I look like mom. That's what I was trying to find.
You're taking a photo of her like at 60, and that's not really accurate. Like you're not showing like
You're
her
both wearing
fucking
glasses.
40. You're not showing
Oh,
her.
we look so much alike there with the
I do feel like
glasses.
you look more like our mom when she was a little younger, like your age. I do feel like you look more like her than I do.
My sister calling me.
But
Here. There's like,
anyways,
a picture of her younger then. Ah,
that's
happening?
great. You can just like zoom in on you two and on my.
oh my god,
Thanks.
you're
Thanks.
so rude.
There we
sometimes.
go. There we go. See, definitely more.
I don't see mom.
Mother daughter.
Listen,
Why?
you
Because
guys
she's
need to-
extra pink in that sunset. Okay.
No, I just don't feel like we have the same face shape. We don't have the same nose. I don't know whose motherfucking nose it is. I don't know whose it is.
Grandma Ramona's.
I know that my kids have my nose.
You have
Except for
Grandma
Ben.
Ramona. You
Ben
have
and
our
Avery
dad's
do
mom's
not.
nose. You have
Ben
our
and
dad's
Avery do not
mom's
have this
nose.
nose.
But other than that, you definitely have more
don't
mom's
think
face
so.
shape. So, all right, bitches. Look, I think we're done. Desiree needs to find it 10 minutes after the live. I already found it.
No, I already gave up.
No, I found it. It was the photo of you and I, but not with CJ. I don't have that one.
Yeah, there's
How
the
fun
one
is that?
of you and CJ, and like.
So wait, what
there's-
are we reading this week?
So this week we are reading chapters.
Are you fucking serious, Tosh? I
48.
never knew that it was Grandma Ramona's nose.
I already
Is
told
it
you
really?
1,000 times that you have Grandma Ramona's nose
Never knew
and
that.
potentially her mouth too. Right there, that pouty little motherfucker. That's you. All right, so this week we are reading chapters 48 through 98, which means we are
98.
reading A Friend Says. It's another A
A
Friend,
friend
Says
says.
through air quotes. Read through air quotes and stop when you see the play.
The play.
The play. Air quotes. Read through air quotes, not the play.
Stop at the play.
You know what's interesting is like our authoress, like they're both writers. Like they met in school for writing, and like he writes plays and she writes poetry. And so she keeps referencing plays and poetry because it's obviously like kind of who she is as an adult, but very interesting.
Yeah.
What are you showing us
Oh,
now?
it's my
You
book.
look like Grandma Rona. We know. You're like
My
Grandma
book
Rona
here.
and Mom.
I
Like,
don't think so. I don't think so.
It's my book. I got the book now.
this is a
It's
different.
I love the book. It's so pretty. It's just a hardback, and I just really like the heart of the book. But I don't think so. I don't think that's the nose.
I
So
got
I
the
don't know
book.
who's fucking. Oh, you have a paperback?
I got the paperback. Wobble, wobble, wobble.
You should have told Tosh.
I
so
have
he
the
can
other
do
hardback.
the
here, but I
hardback.
didn't like give them to you to mail out because I thought I don't know why I thought I would just like see Anna and Dominique sooner, but mostly.
Well, I needed it to do some things I want to do, so I got it.
Oh my gosh! You finally got your book.
It's just
It was a good hardback. Like we can't get hardbacks often, but when we can, we love to. And
This is a nice paperback because it's
does
like
it flop? Open it
Yeah,
with your
look.
hand.
look.
Let's see. Ooh.
Look
No,
at
like
it.
flop
Okay,
it
go.
open.
What do you mean
Okay.
flop?
It almost holds
Look at-
itself open. That's a good
Yeah,
book.
Hold on.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah. So
look,
like do like
look.
a
She
do like
a
a
good
this
book.
and let it
I just did.
and just let it. I'm trying to see how floppy
Like,
it is.
like if it
That's
feels
not bad. It's not super floppy, but you're not like trying to crack the spine to get.
No, I'm not. I haven't. Look at. Look, it's just. It's like
I love it.
very evenly balanced.
We love it when
the-
she flops open, spreads.
I
those
know. I love
pages,
it when
Makes it easy.
she opens her own pages for you.
Yeah, I don't want to do the work.
Mhm. I love when
good.
she opens herself up and makes herself available for you to just
Yeah.
enjoy. I mean, Pride Month is over, but here we are talking about our books. Anyway,
All right.
bitches, we know what we're reading for next week. Please listen to your playlists. You're gonna have some trivia
Good
next
stuff.
week. You are. We got some fun, and everybody needs In My Genres Era t-shirt.
It's
I mean, it's our whole year as a book club. Anyways. Oh, look at that little guy.
He's letting you know that he went poop.
Congratulations. Poop. Yeah. Gross. Or do we want to say bullshit?
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Anyways, have a good night, bitches. We will see you all next Sunday.
Goodbye.
And they.
Good night.
Bye.